There's nothing like the first caffeine hit of the day.
Said like a true addict.
So we ordered all of this stuff, like 2 things of food and the stove, like 3 days ago. And luckily we got it in time for this trip, but a lot of the food just wasn't available. So all I could get was that steak from last night, which was really good, and 1 packet of eggs.
Here's your breakfast. And the dehydrated eggs are not terrible.
Not terrible, but they're not good either.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree. Not the worst, nor the best.
Yeah, we left home without knowing at all where we end up. We got a camping spot, but it started raining. Mm-hmm. So we upgraded ourselves. And now we're at the waterfront cabin, so can't complain.
Alright, so we're gonna go to the Coulee Dam. Let's get our stuff together. Here's all our stuff.
This here is the lake. And very nice cliffs in the back, so cool resort. To be honest, it has been 2 hours since the sun came out. But there was a cloud cover, so there was no point getting up for sunrise. I could have gotten up.
Yeah, you could have.
Yeah, the sun is starting to hit the walls of the canyon and people are already fishing, I bet you, since sunrise. This resort is private and packed with amenities. There are 2 more there, but there's 4 ice freezers and a whole thing for firewood, which is, you can tell the priorities right there. And there's a grocery store here. Here's where we are, Sun Lakes, and this is the general area. It's really the Columbia River, because right here runs the river and there's a big dam, the biggest in the Northwest. And here's kind of an offshoot where we are, where it doesn't really flow that way anymore. So it became a big lake, or a system of lakes even. And they continue here, even a bit interrupted. Moses Lake and Salt Lake. But around here runs the big Columbia River all the way around towards the ocean in Oregon. So this is 4 hours away from Seattle. So we're traveling through Washington State here, and we're actually pretty far out here, currently standing on the ground of the Colville Reservation. And they have the stats for the pandemic impact on this region. And the crazy thing is that the native reservation here has only 1 death and 14 cases ever recorded. And previously we were in these 2 counties spending the weekend. Douglas County had 120 cases and 3 deaths. And Grant County has 185 cases and 3 deaths. So between these regions we're in, there's been 300 cases and about 6 deaths. So it's really minimal impact. This is why we're choosing to travel here. We're not worried about being exposed to the pandemic.
And the resort that we were at was packed full. We were lucky to get a cabin. In fact, it was the last one available. But yeah, tons of people. They do still have the signage up, so they're more or less practicing that 6 feet of distance rule and all that. But yeah, people are still out here. They're traveling. They're just living life.
Like a beach here. The sand is legit. There are actual dunes on that side too. One of the campground is called Dune.
But yeah, wow, this is sand.
It's super nice and fluffy.
That's cool.
Yeah, we are at Steamboat Rock state park in Washington.
And we did not know about this place until we drove by it on our way to the Coulee Dam. So that road was incredibly scenic. It is nicer than the typical road that people take to the gorge, like way prettier. There's just more green, there's more than sagebrush, and I think being here in the spring also helps.
Yeah.
There's just life everywhere.
And this is how we like to travel. I like to let discovery happen. I don't plan meticulously. I plan vaguely on purpose, and I leave time windows to let discovery happen. So we're here for the first time. We never heard of this place. It's fantastic.
But it's gorgeous. It has these rock formations that in some ways kind of, I mean, the closest thing I can think of is like the Southwest. It inspires me or just reminds me of that. But obviously these are different rocks and different formations altogether, but you know, that is similar. And then here we have sand even.
We're completely enjoying the experience here at the Steamboat Park. It's actually paradise with great weather and great nature. So right now we're on these sand dunes over a lake, and they're very picturesque rocks in every direction.
And the cool thing about sand dunes is that you can look down and you can see like tracks, and so you see like human footprints, but here these look like hoof prints or something. You can kind of see like where the animal went. You can kind of like make up stories in your mind about it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It makes you feel more creative. Everything we had for the weekend. We are pausing to get gas, and gas has actually been quite cheap this trip, which has been great. It's a little bit more expensive here, but still pretty low, $2.29 per gallon.
Well, we are back in Vantage, Washington, and we closed the loop of central Washington we just did.
So the ginkgo petrified forest is behind us down that way, so we are out just in front of it. So this is indeed where we started our trip, and I think we achieved a couple things this weekend. Number one, we got away from the city and we got back into nature, which is really good for our creativity.
Yes, and it really felt like there's no problem in the world out there. It was paradise. We went to places we had never been, and they were actually amazing. We have so much content to show you soon.
Yes, so even though we went to some familiar areas that we'd been to before, the other thing that we achieved is going somewhere new, to Othello, and for you, Moses Lake. So it was really cool to explore new places and not have to get on an airplane.
Yeah, and to me the big part of this was discovering that area north of Dry Falls, which was all the way until the dam, and there was a great lake there and such a scenic drive and some amazing state parks where we're going to stay next time. They have their own beaches and everything. Until next time.